What's up, Ravens fans? The NFL Combine is coming up next week, and then next up after that is free agency. It never stops during the offseason. The questions also never stop. We're going to answer them in this week's Ravens mailbag. Let's jump to the first question. It's draft related. The question here is, what are the chances of drafting a wide receiver early in the draft? We've got the receiver question now.
Yeah, we finally got it. I mean, how early are we talking here?
What about first, second round? First, second round.
First, second round. Okay, I think second round. I just don't see it happening in the first round. I think the Ravens have too many needs on the defensive side of the ball. Wide receiver isn't the premier position in this offense that it is in some other offenses. I think that you have obviously Hollywood returning as your number one. You have Willie Snead returning. Sure, would it be great to add another piece there? Absolutely. You know, more weapons from Lamar Jackson. You get 2 thumbs up from me.
Yeah.
But the Ravens tight ends are really the pass catchers in this offense. They rank number 2 in the league in terms of catches, targets, and yards this season. They were number 1 in touchdowns. I don't expect that to change. And those 3 guys are returning, the 3-headed monster. So I think the Ravens will continue to bolster their wide receiver core. That could be in free agency, or I could still see it early in terms of round 2. I don't see it happening in round 1.
I do think the Ravens will draft a receiver at some point, and maybe it's on the first.
I think it's 2-3.
Yeah, I think that could be kind of the sweet spot. And everything you read about this class is that it's a deep receiver class, which is good news if they were to address in the second, third round. All right, let's go to the next question here. This one comes to us from Colby Martin, and the question here is it becoming more than likely that Eric DeCosta will sign Ronnie Stanley to a long-term extension this offseason? I think this is certainly a possibility. Ronnie is going into his 5th season, which means he has the team option for this 5th year. But if you look at what the Ravens have done over the past 2 seasons since Eric DeCosta took over, they've tried to work out long-term extensions before guys ever hit the market, before they ever play out the last year of their deal. Just look at what's happened this offseason. They just did it with Chuck Clark.
Yeah.
You know, they did it during the season with Marcus Peters before he ever hit free agency. So this is a growing trend that the Ravens have gone through over the past 2 years, and I think that it's definitely going to be something they try to do.
I would be surprised if it doesn't happen.
I'm
going to go a little bit stronger than you.
Yeah.
I think it will. I would be very surprised if Ronnie Stanley doesn't ink a contract. It's hard to find franchise left tackles.
Yeah.
He was the best left tackle in the game, the best pass blocker of any offensive line position in the game. I mean, this guy is really in his prime. You spent a 6th overall draft pick to get him. You should keep him.
Yeah, and if you look at the Ravens' history, not just the past 2 years, they like to keep homegrown talent, especially franchise cornerstone pieces, and that's what Ronnie Stanley is. So I think this is a deal that gets done. All right, let's wrap it up here with the last question today. The question is, should the Ravens concentrate more on interior defensive line like Jordan Phillips and Calais Campbell if he were to get cut, or should they focus on defensive end outside linebacker like Jadeveon Clowney or Vic Beasley? This, of course, is talking about free agency.
Did you see the name Holland's Opus? I love that movie, by the way. Great movie. I'll first address Calais Campbell, and I love that guy. And I would not be surprised if he came to Baltimore at all. I think the Jaguars are probably going to be looking to cut some salary cap space.
They've got to cut him. He's got a big salary, and so that's the first domino to fall here.
Exactly. We all know the Ravens and their penchant for signing guys who get released because it helps in the compensatory pick formula. And Calais Campbell just seems to fit the Ravens to me. Great guy off field. Just won the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. A literal giant. Literally a giant. The man is huge. The Ravens like size up front. He can provide some pass rush help, which they need on the interior. Still run stuffing presence. I mean, a veteran playing at high level, good on and off field. Just everything about it screams Raven. But to answer this specific question, I still think, and a lot depends on Matthew Judon, that the need, if Matthew Judon weren't going to be here next year, I think the larger need is that outside linebacker, because I just think it's a more premier position in this defense. The way this is orchestrated, you can kind of find one of those DNs, and of course they would be benefited from getting some pass rush inside, but you need that edge rush.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things to figure out here, and the Matthew Judon piece of the equation is still probably the biggest question as the Ravens enter this offseason. So we love to hear from you guys every single week. Send us those questions on Twitter using the hashtag #RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.